Hey guys, it's Aped in Crypto again. Here is another video. This time we're going to talk about Ethereum and expect a similar sort of video that we had before, about 13 to 14 minutes. We talked about Bitcoin dominance before. Now we're going to talk about ETH. So obviously many people are currently bullish on ETH, and many people think ETH is dead, which is usual. And frankly, you know, ETH, when you look at the weekly RSI, you can see that it has been doing the exact same thing that other alts. So the true, I would say, sort of alt season, or sort of the beginning of the alt season, or some sort of more exciting alt activity happened up to March, so Q1 2024, and to be honest with you, after that it's just dumping. And obviously this was the Trump pump, by the way. I mean, that's ridiculously muted for ETH. And when you look at the Q1 2025 low, I mean, that was a decent low, and then we've seen a high last August, and ever since, obviously, because Bitcoin topped out in December, ever since ETH is also going down. So what we can see here is the 2022 bear market bottom on the RSI was 27. I expect us to go lower again and reach that 27. When you look at the fibs, this was the first leg down. It hit the 786, well, give or take, almost. Good enough. Well, it actually did hit it. Very important. Then your second leg, this was a connecting leg. This pump from March to August was a connecting leg, and now we are in another leg to the downside, right? So what does that mean? It means that we need to hit, I would say we need to hit the 1-to-1, which would be pretty decent if we touch the trend line here in October. And I think the trend line, you could argue that why don't we draw the trend line like this? So whatever, either way it works. I just draw it like that for now. But I think we are touch of the trend line, touching 27, potentially 21 is not out of the cards. In fact, it's pretty much in the cards. Now, if we then pull the fibs again, and now we're gonna say, okay, so if this leg is another leg to the downside, you know, how much upside we can get? Because it seems that the RSI could go higher, could get rejected somewhere around the midline or the midline of the channel, and then make that lower leg down. And one could argue that it can go as high as 60 and hit the top of the channel before going lower. So obviously this would happen probably still in well, Q4, right? I mean, I don't want to go into Q1 2027 right now. I'm still assuming Q4. But yeah, so this dumping needs to start pretty much. This leg needs to finish to the upside. So there's a little bit more here. It can finish as early as here in August, and then August, September could be quite bearish. October, November reaching the lows, something like that. And I think that if you look at the previous leg was basically going up to the 786. So if that happens this time again, which I doubt a little bit, then obviously we would hit the upper trend line, as I said. But I doubt that will happen at this point. I think rejection somewhere here around 50 is more likely, or even 45 on the RSI. So what does that mean for the price, right? So in terms of the price, well, it's very interesting when you look at the standard chart versus the log chart. It's quite interesting. I show you why it's interesting, because if you look at just the standard chart, look going back to 2022, the bear market bottom in June, which was 870, and then this leg got rejected here. This should be red, by the way, or black, and then we don't need to worry about colors. Maybe that's the easiest. So got rejected, but then found support where we actually finding support again, and this is a major support level. So I mean, that's why people are bullish on ETH. Obviously finding support and then pumping all the way to the top of this range. So you see, this is a large range, and you know, this chart doesn't go back, but I think what I'm expecting, I'm going to show you another chart that goes back more in time. What we are seeing is a giant correction, and giant correction like that starts here at the top of the bull market, then the bottom of the bear market, the previous one, then the top of this current bull market in August, and now the bottom of the bear market is pending. And what I'm expecting is 800 and 1000. I think around 1200 people are going to start bid this quite heavily. Why I think that we're going to fall through this support is purely because we already hit the 786 twice. And I think that is, sorry, the 786, well, we didn't actually hit it twice. We only hit it once. I mean, sorry, I'm just gonna pull the fib here, like this, just to see. Yes, so we hit the 786 already twice. So the 786 is essentially 1700, right? And we're bouncing on that, but I think we need to fall through it because we already hit it twice in this range, which means that your next stop down is gonna be around 1300, taking out this week low March 2025, taking out this week low 2023 February, and I think that's when people are gonna start thinking, I'm gonna bid this, especially when we hit sort of 1200, 1100, or 1000. And this is when my expectations regarding the bottom comes in, that I think that I'm expecting a little bit of a you know, touch of this lower trend line. So around 900, 1000, maybe it can go a little lower. And this is when the log chart comes in quite funny, when it rearranges this support. It's still a big support, but then you see how the next one down is 1000, and the touch of the channel would actually be 800. Would you take out this low? I think we need to take out this low. So 876 we need to take out. That would be the cleanest. So if you take out that low 1-to-1, and then we go. I think that's the current assumption. And if I'm gonna show you the other chart here, it's a bit messy. Apologies for that. But basically, what you're gonna see here, you're gonna see clearly that if you pull the flips from this leg down, essentially the fibs of this particular leg down, you see that the 786 was hit, the 886 was almost hit. So yes, we can stage a bigger bounce, or we move one more down and then we bounce, and then once again we move down. So I think the two new lows with Bitcoin could coincide with two new lows with Ethereum, or just one new low. That's also possible, right? So I think we need to keep an open mind for that we're only gonna see one new low with ETH. Maybe the next low with Bitcoin is gonna make that really low. And by the way, this can happen, absolutely. Even if you go a little higher, you know, you can still, I mean, you can still hit that 1000 level with the next leg down, especially from here, or even lower. And then when Bitcoin is going to make another low, Ethereum is going to be a higher low, which means that essentially it bottoms just like it did in the 2022 bear market. The first, it was June, Ethereum bottoming, later Bitcoin, and then finally Solana also bottomed. So I think that's the video for today. Hope this is helpful for you guys to see what's happening with ETH. Why I'm expecting the prices that I'm expecting. There is a range, there are trend lines, parallel channel, fibs, RSI, and so on. I think that's probably, you know, that should tell us enough to know that if it is bullish in the short term, we're talking about a week or two and then dumping. So even if there's a spike up after that, then there's going to be a new low or a higher low. So that we don't know yet. We're going to find out. Thank you so much. Please give the channel a subscribe. Follow me on X, and please do like and comment on the video. Cheers, guys.